Are you stuck in a situationship and having a hard time letting go? In this video, let's talk about being stuck in a situationship. Know that you are not alone, and it's hard to get unstuck. Permission to change. Some people get into situationships by stating early on that they aren't looking for anything serious. They talk it through and agree with the terms of the arrangement. When we don't have experience with relationships, we're ignorant of how they get started in the first place. We kind of follow the path of least resistance, which frequently are situationships. We assume it's a good idea because we don't have the lived experience to have the self-awareness of what we like and what we don't like. Once the realization hits that the situationship dynamic doesn't work for us, we find ourselves in a bind. We know we aren't happy, we know it isn't enough, but we agreed to it. Here is your reminder that you are allowed to change. That when you know better, you do better, and that's a good thing. The right mindset. Here's the right mindset. Consent is an ongoing conversation. Sometimes the initial agreement doesn't work the way you thought it would. That doesn't mean you're trapped there forever. You don't need to keep going along pretending everything is fine just because the other person is content. It's time for you to be honest with yourself about your experience in the situationship. Reassess whether the initial agreement still works for you and communicate it to the other person. One of the most common reasons I notice people struggling to directly talk about this is the anxiety around pressuring the person or scaring them away by being too eager. No. That kind of cultural messaging is just gaslighting you to repress your experience and play it cool. It plays on a coping mechanism to avoid potential rejection and prevent the pain of losing the closest thing to a relationship we have. It's like you're telling yourself, I need air to breathe, but if I can just hold my breath for a while longer, this person will eventually love me. Own your power. You have to talk about it. The sooner, the better. Telling this person directly is a way to pull yourself out of ruminating in your head and back into reality. Clarity is a kindness to both of you. Once you initiate the conversation, you have to listen carefully to what they say. Don't just hear what you want to hear, or hear something they aren't saying. Watch their face and body language. Is it reassuring, or do they seem uncomfortable? Once we express our experiences and needs, we can't expect people to opt themselves out of our lives. You are responsible for upholding your own standards. You are responsible for enforcing your boundaries. If they are content with the current setup, they might be too cowardly to be honest with you, or are too selfish to walk away from a situation they're fine with. Real self-respect means knowing your standards, asserting your needs, and choosing to walk away from a situation that isn't good for you. Look at it this way: there is pain on either side. The pain of staying in an unfulfilling situationship, or the pain of temporary separation distress. If there's no pain-free option, we might as well pick the pain that will pay off in the long run. Sometimes, the most beautiful thing about a situationship is what happens when it's over.